And we are live.
Woo!
Woo! You know what song is really good? Have you guys
A specific one metal cover of Welcome to the Internet that some guy happened to make and I found last night and I can't stop listening to it on repeat.
I mean, probably that one too. But I've been listening to that because I saw One Piece film Red the other day.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that fucking song. What's it called?
Which one? There are
where,
multiple.
like, she gets all dark and shit.
Yeah, the fucking okay.
I think it's taught musica. I'm not actually sure if that's actually what it's called, but that
Yeah,
was
there are
like
several
what the
songs,
whole
but-
theme is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's probably that one. Anyways, it's been stuck up. It's been living in my head rent free. I'm gonna go look it up later. Also, this is a minor gripe, and I feel like this is a topic that we can broach because it's it was sort of covered in a recent interview we did. Oh, let me rephrase that. A recent interview that we just published. I was not a fan of some because that's one of the shows that apparently has English songs.
Dubs? No way. What?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Which show?
not show, movie that they're working on. Like apparently there's going to be some. I don't think it's out yet. There's no dub, is there?
For what?
I didn't watch it
For the movie?
One Piece Film Red has an English dub. It just has Japanese songs in it.
Well, I was reading somewhere there's English songs are going to be like in a home release. I don't know.
I have not heard that about the home
They're
release.
going to-
I know Amelie, the English voice actress, has done covers, but they're unofficial.
No.
That might be.
Thank you for bringing that up. Those are okay, but I don't know. It's funny because like I was playing Fire Emblem Engage a lot lately. Like if you follow me on if you're a friend of mine on
The
GameCube,
Gotcha Vortex.
I have like 200 plus hours in that game on the Switch. If you want to look it up, but
I
what's
believe you.
insane and what bothers me is that the main theme for that is an English version of the Japanese opening song, and you can technically you could change the language option to Japanese and just let the game replay, but there's no way for you to start up the game and hear the Japanese version of that song. And my biggest gripe with English versions of the songs is that they never sound right. I don't know. Like
They can, it's just very rare. I would say like like they have to do the thing where you can't one-to-one translate. You have to take into account what the general vibe of the song is. And yeah, because just the way the language is delivered, it's just the rhythm is different. So you have to like adapt to
it
that.
definitely is the rhythm, but I think it just more so like translated lyrics can be wonky because like unless you're doing power metal, like because like
I mean,
because a lot of times the songs are very like topical for what for the show, the game, or whatever, which makes sense. But like pop music or that kind of style of music or whatever, you wouldn't sing lyrics like that in English. It just sounds like you know what I'm trying to say. Like
you know what I'd say? I'd say it's like how literally how a sentence is structured. How like in English you put the adjective before the noun, and in Spanish it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever you make a description of something, or like if you're telling a joke, the words are in completely different order. So if you try doing it one-to-one in a different language, you could wind up just blowing the punchline before you get to the actual setup.
I remember there one of the very first anime I ever watched in my life. As in I sat down and watched it purposely as anime, was Bubblegum Crisis, the original OVA series. And I think I even had it on DVD, and it was one of my first DVDs. Even it was back before DVDs had a standardized case. It came like in a box with CD jewel cases. Anyway, I remember watching the first episode and not knowing that it's DVD technology. You could change the language track. I didn't know you could do that. So like I watched the first episode in English, and they dubbed the songs. Like I don't know if that's the right term to use, but like. And if you ever seen Bubblegum Crisis, it has like one of the most kick-ass openings ever, where like Preston the replicants come out on stage and do this song called Konyawa Hurricane, and it's awesome. And then you hear it in English, and admittedly, this is more because back then, I don't know if they didn't have access to the full like mix.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm
because
pretty sure
it
that's.
sounds like a
Yeah.
YouTube cover, and I don't mean like a modern YouTube cover. I mean like one of the ones where you just get the instrumental and you get a mic and you sing over it and you just layer it and call it a day. But yeah, I just find that funny that was a commercially released product that they released, and I don't know if anyone ever talks about that, but I think there was a point earlier on in anime days to translate songs. They just gave up for like 20 years or whatever, and now they're trying to do it again. And
No,
part of me,
I think it depended
huh?
on the work. I know there were some
Yeah.
that did the translation, like uh, Back
I
when
think
and
Fruits
Chop
Basket
Squad did
did.
all the like songs in English.
Oh, well, that's a little different to the original group does it. Oh, look, it's a cat.
What?
But I think Fruits
Also,
Basket has, huh?
also, Manny, what show is this?
What? Oh, it's
We,
Ultra Podcast Z. I kind of forgot that we just started because I'm sorry, that song got in my head, whatever it's called, and I just
Backlight?
started going off.
Don't do that.
That's the song. Didn't it come up in the interview? I think too. Um. By the way, we interviewed. Well, we didn't interview anyone related to One Piece Film Red, but we did interview DEMONDICE, and in that interview, um,
You want me to talk about Emmanuel since I was actually there for that
yeah,
interview?
exactly. I was supposed to say, like, I don't remember who even said it. I'm sure
Yeah.
you wrote it, but
Yes, I wrote it about how she designed Princess for Fake Type and how Princess was an inspiration for Uta, and now Demon Dice loves the movie and was covering the music, including Backlight. You can find it on her channel.
the funniest part about how I discovered Backlight, and everyone's gonna groan when I say this. And by the way, that actually got no. One of my favorite Billy stars did a cover of it.
Of course, it was on Billy.
Yeah, it's just they're Chinese, and and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check out the song because I didn't know what the song was. She didn't reference One Piece Film Red in her title, or maybe she did. I couldn't fucking read it. I don't know what the fuck One Piece is called in Chinese, but like, I went and looked the song up like on YouTube, and I was like, actually, to be honest, I was just looking for her video again, just so I could share it, and I'm like, oh, it's from One Piece, and then I went and watched it, but but
Okay,
yeah,
Manuel,
like,
have you followed One Piece in like the 30 years it's been going?
I tried to watch it. I really did because
he was there when Gold Roger was killed.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm doing a '90s J-pop panel for Fanime.
Okay, no, Manuel, I want to keep going on this. How much of it have you actually watched or read?
Okay. Actually, that's different. Those are two different questions. I remember when the manga came out. Like, I guess at some point they started releasing the mangas in smaller version, like the more common manga size that we have in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But they had already gone up to like 30th issue, like with the bigger ones. So like there was a period of time where they were released. They started again at 1, but you could also get volume 30, or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a ton of them. So I read like the first 10 manga volumes. I don't remember shit. This is like literally 15 years ago.
Okay, so how was it going into that movie? Because I had the same experience taking my sister to see that, and it's like, oh wait, there are so many new characters in this movie that you have to like kind of know who they are. Honestly, it's like walking to an Infinity War and not seeing anything from the MCU.
That's actually,
I didn't even realize that probably was exactly what it was like.
no,
I was just like,
that's what I thought too. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Like, I would have used that exact same comparison. I don't think you have to know it because like the movie is so like, especially I've seen a lot of anime movies where they're like, yeah, but like you ever watch like one of those YouTube movies, like when a YouTuber does a movie and you really have to fucking know the YouTuber? It's not, a lot of anime movies feel like that too, but One Piece Film Red didn't. Like it still felt like it was, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I really don't, but it still felt big and dumb enough that you're able just to walk in and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
That's
but there's this.
It's like it's supposed to be like silly and fun.
Yeah. It's just that there are so many like people, and you have to know, wait, why is the Charlotte family out for the Straw Hat Pirates? Who's this guy with the green hair and the barrier powers? Who's this surgeon of death who can stop like time in a small area and move things around? And who's this red hair guy who's Uta's father? And how does he connect with Luffy?
Shut the fuck up!
And what happened to his arm in the like 10 years?
Shut the fuck up! I'm not taking that bait.
I mean, like, that's the kind of shit that if you really cared about, you could be like, I'll just go sit down and waste a year of my life watching all those 1,000 episodes. We talked about this on a DTL. I think it was that one that Hina was on, funny enough. And it was funny because I said this out loud and everyone said the exact same thing. But I went on. I was interested to finally get to watching it because a friend of mine loves the series. I'm like, you know what? I'll watch it because we have something to talk about. And I went to go look it up because she had sent me a thing. It's like, oh, this is what you have to watch. And it was basically one of those lists that they have like on a Reddit or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like where's the fillers, where's the not, like
yeah,
that stuff.
and there was a huge filler gap, like from episode like 700-ish. I don't remember exactly where you could skip like a huge chunk, and I'm talking like over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
And when I was
describing it, yeah, actually.
Yeah, when I was describing that,
wait, sorry, what was that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that from you, Pleiades?
Oh, that's probably Skypia.
No, Skypia was like the first 200-ish episodes.
But it is a huge part you can just skip over.
Do not skip Skypia. Skypia is a great part. Was one of the best villains in the series.
There's nobody in the have we gone to the moon? No.
It introduces new forms of hockey. It introduces to dial technology. It introduces more stuff on the Pongus.
Where are the dials?
They're in Usopp's weapons. It also introduces the people in the sky.
You never see him shoot the big old plants and use his
but it's powered by dial technology.
That slingshot is just a slingshot.
Yes, but the reason it's so good is because it is powered by dials.
That is not.
There are good things in that arc. Do not skip it. Sorry, go on.
There's good things in everything.
Well, yeah, there's a whole list about and I guess you could technically watch only about 500 or 600 episodes of the 1,000 that are out so far, and I guess get the important parts. I don't know how that works, but I guess.
Well, the thing is,
and that arc also introduces the Blackbeard.
Oh no! As soon as they go up, you can literally just fast forward to the episode where they come back down, and then you're good. Like everything is explained perfectly. You miss nothing whatsoever, except for like maybe one poneglyph, and that you could just get from reading a summary.
You could also do what I do and play the Warriors games, like the Muso games, the Pirate Warriors, or whatever they're called. There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
And the first 3 do recap various plots of the important plots of the show, and then part 4 is apparently I guess the games. I don't know why they couldn't just rehash it or just do something else, but apparently part 4, and I think it's out in the anime now, but part 4 was like an alternate universe for like the ongoing season. They just oh well, it's not written yet, so we're gonna make up our own shit or some shit like that. I don't know enough about One Piece to tell you what they changed, but it's great. I loved it. It turns very Dragon Ball-y in part 4, like where everyone's like, I'm sure pissing on some of my saying, but I feel like everyone goes Super Saiyan in that one.
Yeah.
Or One Piece Super Saiyan, but yeah.
Yeah, there's everybody kind of has their variations on junk like that. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's the goal shouldn't be to just power through it to get through it. It's one of those shows where it's once you start it, you just kind of get into it, and then you start dreading the point where you'll run out of episodes is what it is.
You know, it's an easy way to not run out of episodes, not skipping entire arcs.
Yeah, but I also don't want to watch the filler.
Well, I meant more.
You could just do the Gen Z thing and just watch every episode in double speed, and and just
nobody does that.
People do that.
People do that.
Watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, that's different. That, well, it's not. You don't do it on TikTok. I mean, TikTok
people do watch anime at double speed.
Yeah, you watch it at double speed so that you could just devour it faster.
That's just missing the point. A tutorial is it's because motherfuckers are long-winded. They don't know how to explain things concisely.
There are don't get me started on shit like that. My favorite thing is when a YouTube video is purposely trying to get to 8 or 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes before, now it's 8 minutes. And if you don't know what that means, then bless your soul, because that's when you're able to put the mid-roll ads. And you gotta love a video that short having mid-roll ads to begin with. But and you could feel they're padding it. You could feel that they're fucking they're leaving in a couple of the ums and a couple of dead silences. They're like, oh man, if I cut that out in 7 minutes and 45, I can't do that. I need to fuck everyone over and get a couple pennies. This is your reminder to put an ad blocker if you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, go watch One Piece Film Red. It was great. I liked it. I thought it was
It
good.
was really good. I watched it like as it was, and then like later on, I got it like in 4K, and I was just like, oh fuck, this
Yeah, I
is like
regret not
this is
watching it when it came
insane.
out. I'm pretty sure we were invited, as in like E to J, we were invited to a premiere or something, and I totally did not care.
Wow, good job, Manny.
Oops.
Good job.
And yeah, I'm sure JD's not jealous per se, but like he probably would have gone. It's just that
Yes.
in typical,
Yeah,
typical.
I'm just counting now
everything
all
happens
the
in
movies
LA.
that Manuel has cost me a chance to see, like earlier with special stuff for press. So it's Belle,
You know what?
One Piece Film
Live in
Red.
LA.
You
Live
know
in
what,
LA.
the thing though is that honestly, I think both of you guys had like the right approach to going to see the movie, because anime movies are like, even if you don't know what's going on, you know that there's going to be crazy sick animation in there. So it's like cool just for like the spectacle of it.
I also like. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like theaters much, but going to see like something like an anime thing or something very, very, very niche is a little different. Because one of the reasons I don't like anime, anime. Sorry, one of the reasons I don't like theaters is because like there's always like those randos who ruin the experience for you or some bullshit like that. But you typically don't see as many of those, or they're randos like you. Does that make sense? Like,
The best is like when you get an audience that like everybody's kind of in tune. And so like when something stupid or something like weird or cool or whatever happens on the screen, like immediately like everybody in the audience is like, "Oh shit."
I will say I was a little annoyed. I remember when like the Love Live movies. It doesn't matter, but I think there was Love Live movies.
Yes, there.
But I went to a screening. Was it Love Live or was it a Macross movie? It doesn't matter. The same difference. I do remember like I didn't go to stay. I went because it was a thing that we had a thing for, and I just went, sat in, kind of hung out with some friends, and left. But people were like gang and standing up with their fucking pen lights in the theater, and I was all like, I get the energy, but it's a movie. I don't know. Maybe it's just me not having fun. I mean, I'm sure it's just me not having fun.
That's like where was that?
This is actually in San Francisco. There's a theater down there called New People where they
That is
do all like the weep shit. I just ran right behind you. Are you saying that's what?
crackhead, real crack hours. I was gonna say that's like the weirdest cross of like Japanese like concert culture, but then also like the thing that like where Americans will clap in the fucking theater. It's like, who the fuck are you clapping for?
Oh God, I
That-
remember, like I remember when I went to go see the not even the prequels, but like Star Wars got re-released in theaters like the year or two before the prequels, like '97 or something like that.
Mhm.
And I went to go see them. I think it was a special edition. That's what it was. It was a special edition. So I got to see George Lucas ruin them for the first time. But like in theaters with everyone else. I remember when like the first one ended, like the first Star Wars, I mean to say, and like I don't think it ended when the Death Star blew up. Like the theater stood up and started like standing ovation, and I'm like, mind you, I'm like 12 or some shit like that, if even that old. I remember exactly how old I was. I was young,
Manuel,
and I
you were
was all like,
12 when the actual Death Star was destroyed.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But I remember like thinking like, why the hell are they standing up and clapping? Like
That is a
George
stand up
Lucas-
and cheer moment, Manuel.
No, I remember specifically because like I was young and I was stupid, but I was like, is George Lucas here? Like, is someone here?
Dude, it's like nobody was there. It's like, what are you doing for the guy in the projector room? Like what? Like
I, the exact same thing I played. He said like in my head, I'm like, who are they doing this for? Like you think fucking Chewie's like to you at the end? Because that was a really bad.
the thing is that actually was not terrible.
But yeah, you think he's doing that at you like in the theaters because like they're not seeing what you're doing. I don't know. It just fucking blows my mind. I fucking love that ending sequence, by the way, the awards thing. If only George Lucas never made any sequels. Imagine that universe. It was just one
Two
really
and a
good
half
sci-fi
solid
movie.
movies, KOTOR, and the Clone Wars cartoon, and first season of Mandalorian. Everything else is mid.
No, for the record, my favorite Star Wars media of all time is the Young Jedi Knight series. I fucking read the
Oh, okay.
the fuck shit out of those.
Everything that got thrown out the window.
Yeah, exactly. The whole Jason and Jaina thing. I mean, it's not even spoiler alert because it doesn't exist anymore. Like, it was basically the Kylo Ren thing, but he had a twin. And actually, he had a twin and a younger brother, and the younger brother died. Like, everyone died. Anyway,
They
it was
had
good shit.
material. They had all that, like, just it was such an easy layup.
I mean, they have been
And then just-
reincorporating a lot of it.
Well,
Yeah, but I
okay.
mean, they could have done even less work.
Yeah, like, I'm not a huge fan of how they're reincorporating Thrawn because I also did read those books really early on, the Timothy Zahn trilogy. Your cats are fucking on crack. Sorry, they're scaring the shit
I
out of me.
told you, real crack hours.
They're like jump scaring me the way they're like jumping out, like literally. But yeah. Anyways, there's yeah, I forgot how we got to Star Wars here, but yeah.
Oh, we
did
got that
you
from
see-
One Piece.
Clapping in theaters.
Did
Yeah.
you see, like, speaking of theaters and performances, did you guys notice that? I mean, you guys hear that Baby Metal's doing a tour with Death
Yeah.
Clock? I don't know if it's Clock or Lock.
I believe it's Clock.
Yeah,
But
Death Clock.
That show's been like done for a while. Unless
Hey, it's
they're
getting a
gonna
new
do, like,
movie, a new album, and a new tour.
No,
okay.
is Death Clock a real group? That's the part I didn't know.
No,
real.
they're a fictional
Yeah.
group created for like a parody of metal that just really caught on.
Oh, then
Yeah,
who the fuck
it's an Adult Swim show. It's
playing
called
with?
Metalocalypse.
Well, I know that, but who the fuck are they playing with then? Like, who is the band?
Like, there's actual, like, musicians. It's like some of the people in the show.
That's weird. But yeah, there's a concert tour happening.
All I know is they might have, I don't know if they announced it at the same time, but a week ago, I heard they're like confirmed that they're wrapping up the Venture Brothers movie. Day one.
Are those the same
Day
people that
one.
do Death Clock or not Death Clock? Death Clock's not the name of the show.
It's another Adult Swim series that was like abruptly ended, and like we've been waiting on like a resolution to it for
Okay.
a while.
All I know about the Venture Brothers is I watched a random episode and this joke stuck with me. I don't know if anyone's ever seen this episode, knows this joke. But I remember they were going cross country and somebody was leading out a car. I don't remember the exact scenario. This like lives in my head for years. And this dude's all like, "We're going so far south, the Ralphs are turning into Kroger's or something." It was a joke like that. And that joke not only resonates with me, but I say it all the time. And like, I don't know. And actually, I forgot that was even the Venture Brothers. I googled it right now to see what the show was. I'm like, that's the
You
Kroger's.
should listen. You will have the time of your life. Go watch it. Just like, it's a great show to binge. Fucking phenomenal cartoon.
But yeah, I remember they were like, "Oh, the Ralphs turning into Kroger's and the Carl's Juniors turning into Hardee's," and that was all.
Wait, is that Carl's Jr. and Hardee's was east to west or west to east?
Like, you get the point. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But for the record, we have Carl's Juniors and we have Ralphs here. I think if you go to like Texas or most other like southern places, you have a Hardee's and you have a fucking Kroger. Fun fact: I think last year it's this huge controversy that kind of like happened and everyone ignored it because nobody cares. It's fucking grocery stores. Kroger is like gigantic now. They are like the biggest market or people in the fucking country, like, and by far. Like, if you go to a market anywhere, like, you're probably shopping at a Kroger accidentally, whether you know it or not. I like Kroger though.
Same umbrella company, but just like different like little subsidiary names here and there. Like it's like
Brandon Small
half
created
of
Death
all
Clock.
the chains. There you
Apparently,
go.
Brandon Small created Death Clock. He's also in Death Clock Band. But yeah, they're trying with Baby Metal. There's a show in LA that everyone's getting excited over. I personally, I think it's an arena show because they're both gigantic. I'm not a fan of those. Like, I'm like, sorry, it's just not my cup of tea. Fine if it's yours, but as soon as I hear arena, I'm like, I'm the fucking SpongeBob meme. Like, I'm out. I'm a head out. It's like,
I just think of the traffic, like getting out of the parking lot.
the
And I'm
thing,
just like
does it matter? Like, I kind of like them because typically those are not, because if you go to a fucking tiny show at some bar or any kind of venue, they'll have 3 openers. Baby Metal won't fucking come out until like 11 o'clock, and I just hate that lifestyle too. But usually an arena show won't have that. It'll be more timely. But when you get like thousands of people in a country like ours where like everyone has to have a car. Like each of those people has a car. It's fucking obnoxious. And speaking of
It's
which,
2 hours to get out.
not only that, like it still blows my fucking mind that you could spend all this money, Ticketmaster bullshit, the ticket itself, and then they still charge you parking.
Oh yeah, because you'll pay it.
And the parking
You don't like it.
Yeah, and the parking's not $5 or $10. Nuh-uh. It's fucking like 50.
Inflation.
It's insane. Yeah, it just blows my mind. I don't know. Concert culture is weird. I blame the pandemic. I think everyone who never went to a concert before, like, or didn't care about them, they're like, oh, we might get another pandemic and I'll never go to one. So I'm going to fucking go to every show I can because I swear to God, concerts in general were not this insane pre-pandemic.
I think part of it is when they made it real cheap to borrow money. A lot of people started thinking, how can I use this money and like flip it and like get my product back real fast? And then cue a million buying tickets just for scalping.
I never told the story live, I think. But I remember one time when Big Bang, as in the K-pop group, had their first show in the US, like 10 years ago or some shit. I thought tickets were expensive, so I bought like a really expensive floor ticket. And it's funny because this is expensive back then. I'm sure that ticket would have been a ton of money now. It's like $200 each. And me and a friend went. Might have been a girl I was taking a day. I actually don't remember that part of the story, but I remember I paid for someone else's ticket. So we're talking like $500 for us together. And I was like, I need to find a way to recoup this money. And because I had, a credit card that had a pre-sale, I bought 10 more tickets to scalp. It was the worst experience of my life. Like to this day, I'm like, honestly, I think.
Did you recoup them?
Barely, and I mean like literally by the skin of my teeth. I think the big issue with me is that I was too scared to sit on them until like right before.
No, I think that was a good idea
Or
because a
maybe
lot of times, like what I'm at least right now, what I'm hearing happens a lot of times is people will just kind of like take their like chances on like if a concert comes in and like you know what, I'll just wait until the last day and if there happens to be extra tickets, I know that they'll be like affordable versus like buying them up ahead of time just because it doesn't matter that much to them if they see it or not.
because half of them, I remember like I got like a little gun shy and I sold half of them for right around face, which by the way meant I lost money because because I had to pay all those fees all around.
Yeah.
And then a few of them I sold just above, and I think one or two, like right before the concert, I sold for a huge profit, and like it barely equaled everything. Like, okay, and I think I did get part of my tickets for free. That was my whole thing. But like, I had thousands of dollars, like I think $2,000 or so, tied up in this bullshit for like 3 months. It was insane. It was stupid. Don't do that. I will say this. Huh?
I was gonna say, on like in line with that, y'all, I cannot stress it enough. If you are ever in a position like that where you're like buy stuff and you can't tell if you should flip it or not, the saying is true: a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Like, if you can make profit, take your profit. Don't get greedy. That's how you get got.
That is true. By the way, that is a good joke, JD. I gotta give it up to you. I did not even think about. I did not realize.
Manuel, I made that joke like 5 times though.
No, that that was the second time I had tickets to Big Bang. That's a good one. But anyways, an interesting story though, and I remember I was talking about this with Leslie. I think it was I think it might have been a conversation we had just had on our own. I don't remember anymore. Maybe it was on a gaming stream. But I remember in the 90s on sitcoms, there was always the scalping plot. I don't know if you remember that. That was always a plot, like an episode that they did. Very famously, there was one on Home Improvement where, like, by the way, screw Tim Allen, but it just comes to mind. There was one on Home Improvement where, like, him and Al, I think that his little like tool buddy or whatever the fuck, they were trying to scalp tickets, I think, to an opera or some shit like that, and they get put in jail. I think there was a Friends episode where they get put in jail. There was a Saved by the Bell episode where they did what I did, where they bought expensive tickets and they tried to like recoup the money for their own tickets by scalping them, and they got like, and they had to like give them away or some bullshit like that. And I'm like, was scalping illegal and now it's not anymore?
I think it's
Because
not very easily enforceable unless like you're literally in line, because that was what happened in a lot of those plots.
yeah, is that
Was
what
that they
is
were trying to
that
do
illegal?
in line, and that's like you're like, dog, you are being way too out here with that. You are making it hot for yourself right now.
But I just find that crazy. Like I can apparently, and by the way, I mean, like fucking everyone knows this, and it's fucking obnoxious. One of the reasons I lost money on the tickets initially is because Ticketmaster has their own resale site. like it, like that just blows my mind. That they'll sell you the ticket. They're like, by the way, did you want to sell it for more money? Post it here, and I'm like, what? How do you handle the scalping market too? That sounds illegal. But
It's a racket. It's always been a racket.
but it blows my mind because that was a huge thing. Like every 90s sitcom had that fucking episode. And I remember growing up thinking like, oh man, don't scalp tickets, you'll fucking go to jail. And I remember like I went to um I went to a Dodgers game with my family one time. And my dad brought his friend and they didn't have tickets. And they were like, we'll just buy it at the gate. It doesn't, it's fine. And we get there and they ended up buying them from some guy in the fucking parking lot, and and apparently it's also illegal to buy them. I think that's even a plot point too in some of these. I think that was actually the plot point for the home
Uh,
improvement one.
the alternative way that those plot points also tended to work out was that the scalp tickets that they buy are like fake tickets.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So then
I
they
remember that
try to
episode
like
of Sister
sneak in.
Sister.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, but I remember my dad bought one first, or the friend bought one or whatever, and it was legit. We all went in together. We all sat together. I'm sure his ticket wasn't next to ours. We just sat together anyway. Um, but um, but I remember when he did that in my like 90s kid head, I'm like, no, it's an undercover cop. We're gonna get arrested. That kind of shit. I was so scared. I'm like, I've seen this play out so many times on TV. And I don't know if like that's such an old plot point that now TV shows won't do that. But it's just like I guess it's not illegal. Like, was it ever illegal? And I know JD just said it's illegal in New York or some shit, but I don't know. It feels
Yeah,
like it's not.
a few states do have laws regarding it. Georgia, this is not legal advice. I'm not legal professional. I just looked this up quickly on Google.
Nice. Good save. Good save.
Georgia apparently has specifically says you can't sell it at the venue if you're scalping it, but you can resell it anywhere else. Essentially,
I never put that we were live.
I think.
and then
think it might
it's
be-
like
Oh, sorry.
maybe 16 states have specific laws against it. Some of them leaving it up to local municipality like governments, and then others doesn't seem to have a problem.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, so long as you're not being like just super blatant, like running an operation, they, unless they're trying to be dicks, like won't like enforce it too hard. But I think like it's mostly enforced against like people who are trying to do like tens of thousands worth of like scalping or something like that.
And are not named Ticketmaster. Oh,
Ticketmaster can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't know, man. Tickets are insane. Like the whole concert culture has changed a lot. Scalping has become a way of life, and it just
Scalping.
I hate it. I hate it.
Scalping never changes.
There was something else I was gonna say. I forgot what the fuck it was. But yeah, I guess I was a ticket scalper at one point in my life, and it didn't turn out that well for me.
It's not like you tried like making a mint off of it.
I do remember at the time when I did it, I was so excited. I had all these tickets in my hand, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to like when the next concert happens. I'm like, I'm able to get in the pre-sale. I'll just buy 20 of those, and I probably would have.
You sound like my very brief stint flipping amiibos.
Oh God, you were one of those.
hey, that's how I financed a computer.
Are you serious?
I mean,
Yes, I had a collection of like 50 amiibo. I sold them all off, and that is how I financed my first computer in 2020.
I'm not gonna lie.
I managed to have a plug for like one straight out of Japan back in the first one where like you couldn't find anything in the States. Fucking, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. People just like stock them up, just like buying them. And I got eBay like a negative feedback from one person who bought it, like tracking's all that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck you, scalper. I'm like, you paid for it, dumbass.
So no, I remember I talked about. Actually, no, we didn't go live last week. So I didn't mention this live, but I'm selling all my sealed games because I'm like I'm never gonna play them and like I'm not gonna open them. I'm literally not gonna open them, and I don't care to have a collection like that. Like if I play them, maybe I'll keep those a bit longer. I'll keep some ones I like, but I'm not gonna open the sealed ones. So I'll sell them. But I'm scared to remove the stickers, the price stickers. And I told you this already, and there's a couple people who've already messaged me and they're upset that I'm selling some games that's worth hundreds of dollars, and there's a dead ass like $9.99 price sticker on it. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm not giving it to you for
Listen,
$9.99.
this is what you do. You put another sticker on top of that sticker.
You just take another sticker with the rest of the numbers. Like,
Yeah.
just put another 9 on there.
$9.99. No, for the record, the big reason I want to touch it because I do know that some that like when great because I'm sure they want to get it graded. If you're spending $100 on a game that's sealed, you want to get it graded. You're not unless you're just a fucking beast and you want to buy a brand new one to open it. I just don't. If that's you, more power to you if you buy it. I don't fucking care.
I can see it if you're a YouTuber.
But I'm sure most of them want to get graded, and I do think that most grading companies like they'll want you to leave the stickers on. Like I don't know if they'll take them off for you, but sometimes I do know that they'll grade the stickers. Like like
You could fuck up the plastic wrap. You could
Yeah.
like tear off a little bit of something. You
like
could
I ain't touching
warp
shit.
the box. Like
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
And Wesley said for nostalgia, keep it for nostalgia feels. I've mentioned this on one of the I think on Drink Talk World when we were like just shooting the shit before. One of the games I'm selling that's worth a ton of money is a Kingsfield PS2 game, and that one not only does it have the $9.89 sticker on it, it's a Kmart sticker. I'm like, that's a relic.
God.
Wow, I didn't realize you had one of the old FromSoft games.
I have all the old FromSoft games. I actually have the Kingsfield games from the PS1, but the PS2 one is sealed. Like I have the Kingsfield, what the fuck it's called. I have Evergrace. I have fucking literally all of them. I have an insane collection. You don't even know. I would like to sell the open ones at some point, but the problem with selling some of those is at that point it's kind of behooves me to test them to show pictures of the discs. I'm just not about that life right now. I'm gonna sell the easy ones. It's sealed. It looks like this, and
Like, if you could try, like, I would advise, like, I don't know, trying to sell it like as a lot. Just that way you move them all at once, even if like you like take a little bit of a hit.
yeah. For the record, I'm selling them relatively like. I look at what the decent prices are lately, and then I just knock a decent percentage off because I ain't trying to sit on these for years. Like I'm not trying to have,
That's what you
yeah.
do. That's
And not
what
only
you do.
that, not only do I not want to sit in there for years, I technically need the money now anyway. It's like, guys,
The hand.
I need them exactly. I need the money now, bro. Like,
Mhm.
send me an offer, message me, but don't ask for $9.99. That ain't happening.
I'll give you $3.50.
$3.50.
God,
like,
Loch Ness monster.
like I'm the one who went to Kmart 15 years ago and bought the game on a clearance bin and just held on to it, didn't open it for 15 years. Like you do that, then come at me.
Yeah, they'll find one in a museum. It's a whole ass Kmart.
Yeah, I used to love the From Software games. Like they and it's funny because like I never really got it. I remember when the Demon Souls, the one that came before Dark.
Yes, Demon Souls.
Yeah, I like that game, but I never got into Dark Souls. And then I'm kind of intrigued by Elden Ring. And obviously, we played that on stream, but but
We
yeah,
just watched.
yeah, exactly. I'm intrigued enough to play it myself. I just haven't.
Well, you need a graphics card for that, Manuel.
Well, there's one in the computer.
Wait.
You said it could run
No,
Elden Ring. I've never
I have an
tried.
idea. No, I have an idea. Manuel, you could have an entire segment where you try to play Elden Ring, but you put all the settings like
To
as
minimal?
potato as possible, and then just for the novelty to see like how crappy you can make it look,
I mean,
but it'll run.
that was just low spec gamer and random gaming in HD.
I'm gonna do. But you told me that PC could run. Can run
I
Elden Ring.
I do not believe I said it could run Elden Ring. I said it could run some games, but you're gonna need an extra.
For the record, your exact words, and I remember this. Your exact words. It won't run Elden Ring in the optimal settings, but it should be good. So technically, you didn't say that it would run Elden Ring at all, but you implied it would.
I want to see you like try booting it up, and like literally the settings have to be cranked down so low. It's just like they look like polygon models from the PS1.
You'd
I
probably
mean,
have to tweak the INI too, just to get
I'm
it
gonna,
working.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna buy it and try to like, I'm gonna try to get it running and then watch like the fucking computer's gonna sound like it's fucking like everything's gonna, all the fans are gonna turn on. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be
You run the stream and you just see smoke in the background of your cam.
it's like, getting really hot in here, guys. Oh my god, it's terrible. But yeah, fucking I forgot why I said about the games. Yeah, scalping games. Can't wait for Manuel to play it 480. Yeah, 480i setting.
Oh my god.
It's gonna. Yeah, you think I can run that shit in 720? Nah, that ain't happening.
That's what you do. Listen, just make it as crappy as possible. If anything, it'll be more fun that way.
Yeah, there you go. See, and then I'll go backwards and I'll run Dark Souls too. I'm pretty sure the computer can run Dark Souls too. I'll go all the way down. I swore I'm not gonna. It's funny. It's funny, similar to the Janet thing when I found out she was actually younger than me. My mind really did break when you said that you don't think it would have been Elden Ring, because at some point last year I was talking to a roommate. I'm like, it could run Elden Ring. Like I've been saying that. That's been my fucking like barometer or whatever, like for describing how good the computer, like it's level.
I mean, yeah, it looks like you do 1080p low at maybe 30 frames a second if you're lucky.
And turn off all the there's no water effects.
Yeah, basically.
No shaders. Like, there's no textures. Everything's just like flat.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, it's still
the dragons look like they're from Spyro.
Yeah, there you go. It's like it'll look like the way, if you guys ever see like the Mortal Kombat 11 comparisons when it's on the Switch versus like the every other version, and it's like
Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy.
No, Mortal Kombat. Well, that's a funnier one. Like, but yeah, Mortal Kombat 11. Like, I remember I saw like a comparison of how it looks on the Switch versus how it looks on every other console. I'm like, god damn, they turned all that shit off.
Yeah. Okay, Manuel. It looks like you could get maybe 25 frames per second at 1080p low.
Oh, see, so it won't chuck that bad.
I mean,
it'll just
technically playable. I don't know
how long.
Yeah, I would.
Like, I assume as soon as the screen starts filling up with effects, your computer's gonna be dead.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit. It's like, guys, thank you for joining. I need to go.
Oh yeah, and don't
call 911.
Probably you wouldn't be able to stream at the same time.
Oh, I was gonna say that too. I'm like that's wishful thinking that I'll be able to capture it.
That's what it'll be. It can run in those settings, but not with the stream going at the same time.
I do remember on my old on my old computer, the one that actually blew up. Funny enough, like in 2021, the one that the one JD gave me replaced. I remember like there was a stream where I was trying to I don't know why the Switch was worse than the PS4, because I definitely captured like with the capture card the PS4 and streamed that and it worked. But when I tried to capture like the Switch, it was not liking it. And like it was running fine for the stream, but for me, like on the computer, nothing was displaying properly like as a preview. It was like
it might be like not as just adept. I don't know like the fucking
we don't know
shit like that, but I'd be wondering if like was when they were designing like the PlayStation, they had that in mind more so than like the Switch.
Fun fact though, I know some games will let you, but I think the PS4 the PS4 is fine. I think it's the PS3 that will not let you like stream anything off of it like natively. You have to like hack the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah,
because I don't know why. I think Sony was just weird with that console, and they're just like,
it was like for the longest time when I was like in my peak homebrew like days, that was like the holy grail. Because it was so hard to like crack it compared to everything else.
When the PS3 launched, like there was the whole debacle where like its initial launch thingies, like it could run Linux and it could run its other operating systems.
Yeah.
But then they're all like, nah, you can't do that anymore. And I think there was actually a class action lawsuit against Sony for that.
Yeah, because you could. They just locked it. And it's like, I bought this. Like,
And it wasn't even that you bought it and you're able to do whatever. It's like they advertised it. That's the worst part. It's like you can't say that they could do something and then you're all like, yeah, we bought it so we could like fucking. Is Linux the one with the penguin? It's like my little penguin
Yes.
homie can like can be on the PS3.
I believe the penguin's name is Tux.
Oh, he has a name? I didn't know that. Fucking Linux. I don't think my only experience with Linux is at one point I had a Linux. I don't even know what you call it, but like a version of Linux that I put on a Raspberry Pi one time when I was trying to get it. Huh?
A distro.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember I had a it's like, because obviously there's tons of things you do with the Raspberry Pi. And fun fact, because the Raspberry Pi doesn't have a hard drive, you just take out a bunch of SD cards and you have like different operating systems. But one of them, when I was trying to make it a computer, that was when I used the fucking Linux. And then the other time when it's just an emulation machine, it's just fucking running RetroArch, RetroArch. I know I said RetroArch.
I don't know. I've never actually heard anybody say it out loud.
I know. I've never said it out loud either, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I saying?" Anyways, how's Yu-Gi-Oh been treating you?
Good. Just came back from a top 8 tournament last Saturday. Totally choked, but I'm okay with it because that just means that I actually could have won. But hey, I'm rusty. I took like a 10-year break. Last time was like, God, I don't even remember.
So did you place? Because I know like the championship, like the orange isn't like the championship. Wait, so you placed?
Yeah, top 8. That's what top 8 is. Yeah.
So if I looked up who was like,
I posted the video. It's on YouTube. You can watch me choke.
Are you serious?
Okay, could you send me a link to that? I will make sure it's in the actual video when it's up on YouTube.
Okay,
sure.
I did. Okay, yeah, but put it in. It's funny because he shared that with us in the Drink Talk World chat, and I just thought that was a random. I usually watch everything you share, but that one was from YouTube, so I didn't watch it for whatever reason. I didn't know that was actually you like playing. Oh shit! I didn't know. We got an almost champion here, guys.
My comment was literally time skipped to the point to the moment I choke.
I didn't realize what you meant. Oops, I'm stupid.
Did you miss the timing on something?
No, oh no, what it was I thought I could get over a card with like that was just like stopping me from like unloading my whole hand. The problem is that what I usually use to it is like a card that just like makes my motherfuckers like beefy as hell, and it 99 times out of 100 it works. This was just this one time where it happened that card had a massive ass and low attack. Well, the way it works is it adds whatever their attack is to my guy's attack. So I couldn't swing over it because it was so weak. So I screwed that up. And even before that, I thought, oh my God, I could have just cleared it first. But at that point, I got into the mode where I was like, I already screwed up. So I was thinking, I was just like panicking.
Sorry, I got excited because I saw Pleiades' name on the screen.
Also, I'm not going to lie, I have a very petty goal that essentially just amounts to I'm going to get back into top 8 and get to the point where I can correct everybody's pronunciation of my goddamn name.
Lose to this two-tone mother. That sounds weird if I say two-tone motherfucker.
Pleiades or your actual name?
Dope.
Yeah, Pleiades. He's about to get beat up by the Access Code Taker and the fucking Golden Unicorn. I didn't see what.
No, that's Access Code. Yeah. No, oh my God, that was the worst part. The entire day, I had like protagonist powers. Like I was going first. Like I was getting to go first all day. I just got hand drew, and then in this match, literally everybody was like, "Wait, okay, so he's going second." Like, no, he got first. My hand, I commented in the video, absolute dog water hand. The only time that entire day where I just bricked, and I couldn't do anything. So I was like, "Fuck it, all right, game 2."
Even that commentator guy's like cringing at the window.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, if you could probably cut that clip of JD and just put it up there, just have it play because it's not very long. I keep ragging on you, but
I stuck my hand and I was just like, What the hell?
He got it as beat, man. Oh man, that's like that's like you getting like contender for like heavyweight championship of the world and you get knocked out in the first round.
It's okay. It's okay. Because here's the thing. I can take solace. I wasn't the spiciest clip of that day. Because somebody else was like literally like could have had game. And like all they would have had to do is just pass because they were right at time. They play the card. It was like, oh sick, I'm gonna get my monster. I'm gonna summon it. That card deals you damage equivalent to its attack. They killed themselves. And they literally could have just passed, done nothing. So hey, it's a family of choking. I love it. We all mess up. It's all nerves, and at the same time, it's so nice because it's always like the same kind of like similar group of people who like play every weekend, and so it's kind of like turning into like an electronic version of like locals, where it's like, oh yeah, the same people coming in, blah blah. Oh hey, how's your family? Blah blah, blah that kind of shit.
It's funny because I know Tom. I mean, I doubt Thomas like made top 8, but I know Tom. Well, I don't even know Thomas, but Thomas as in friend
Manuel?
of the channel. I don't
Yeah,
think he's
okay.
ever been on these streams. What? He's never been on these streams, but I'm like, if you follow any of us on like social media, you probably have seen a Thomas in the background, in some pictures and whatever. But anyway, my point to bringing him up is that like he was the first person to introduce me to like modern online Yu-Gi-Oh or digital Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know what the term would be,
Yeah.
but I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago, and I do mean a long time ago.
Yeah, in ancient Egypt, we know you played with the pharaoh.
The stone tablets.
You motherfuckers. Like literally like its first gen like 20 years ago.
Oh, sorry, you played with the Atlanteans, didn't you?
Like I mentioned this to Pleiades before. Like I have a ton of cards, like boxes and boxes of cards.
Yeah, I know.
From the old days. I still have a few decks because I mean I don't remember how to play. I don't remember how to play. I'm sure the game is 100% different. I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody told me that basically if you play Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh and you try to jump in now, it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It looks similar. Yeah. It looks similar when I saw it.
Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh.
I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Yeah, it doesn't look anything like what I played.
Yeah, Manuel, as someone who played a bit past, I think, Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, Gen 2 started, what, Cyber Dragon era or something like that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
GX era, yeah.
I stopped, I guess, maybe Gen 3-ish when they were introducing Synchro Summoning and picked it up again recently. And it was like, why is everyone able to get out like 5 3,000 power monsters in one turn where it's basically I win turn 1 or I lose?
Yeah, what I just saw in Pleiades' game, like I grasped what was going on only because like I was watching it slowly, like whatever. But I wouldn't be able to play that. Like that's not the way we played Yu-Gi-Oh back in my day.
So here's the thing, there were eras, right? The point where I stopped, that was right at the point where they immediately like started realizing, hey, we can make these broken cards and everything if we print on the card once per turn. Like hard, doesn't matter if it gets negated or goes to the grave, whatever. Hard once per turn. That way it's like you can do like maybe play 4 cards, but you'll like get them all back kind of. But like it's a game of cool. So I made my Hadoken and I like now I have to it goes off cooldown. I need to build up meter again, but now it's the opponent's turn to play. That deck that I was playing against was right at, like in between that era where they didn't realize that and they could just make effects that go on infinitely. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Because I was like in that break where I didn't play and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. And I feel like if I don't win in one turn, I'm going to die.
No, because like a couple years ago, ironically enough, before it became like trendy to do it again.
The great thing about this, I have yet to have to read a pendulum card. They completely nerfed that entire mechanic. I love it.
So yes, to explain it as best as I understand it, Manuel, for pendulums, you play cards at certain levels on like your left and rightmost spell card zones, and then you can summon creatures with levels between those or value.
Oh,
for free.
For free.
That sounds overly complicated.
It was, but
and then you can manipulate like their levels specifically so you can summon more things.
and they'll say, and when they get destroyed, they go to your extra deck face up.
Yeah.
And so what the idea is that you make one, you put one in your S&T because they count as spells too. They're monsters, but they're spells. And it'll be like, cool, destroy this to get another pendulum monster. Oh, okay. I'll get another one. Get another one. Get another one. Now you've loaded your extra deck up with 4 pendulum monsters. Sick. Pen summon 4?
That's bullshit.
That's how it used to work. They have neutered that entire mechanic to the point where you used to have extra zones, so you could run like 5 traps, pendulum on each side. Now it's like no. You have to use that. You can't just load up with traps and pendulums. Fuck off. No.
So are any of my
can only come in 1 from your extra deck, not like a million all at once.
So can I even use any of my old cards?
Absolutely. I mean, you can.
Are they any good?
I mean, that's what I'll say. Like
depends on if there's any new support for them.
Do people still play Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Blue Eyes has gotten a decent amount of support. I don't think it has pendulum.
Like, I'll tell you for sure. When I started on ranked, because like I just grind, I was just grinding like free gems, which incidentally the online simulator is really forgiving with how much like it costs to like have a decent deck, because you can just play like the solo tutorial mode and get just about everything you need for like 1 solid deck. But when I started playing on ranked, it was hilarious. It's like at the beginning bronze, it's like, oh, fun, and then like from like high bronze up to like through gold, it's like this like lithosphere of people who have the biggest hard on for Dark Magician. Because I swear to God, it would just be Dark Magician deck, Dark Magician deck, Dark Magician deck over and over again.
The Dark Magician. I only. Man, I didn't know people still played like Dark Magician. That's insane.
Well, it like with Blue Eyes, it's gotten support in the new mechanics for all the stuff. So there's like, hey, if you have like 2 Dark Magicians out, you can get this thing, and here's a bunch of new spell cards and stuff that do cool things if you have a Dark Magician on the field.
One of these days, I'll just mail you all my fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and you can like you can make me a deck and mail the deck back and keep the rest. I don't know. I'm just curious.
I was gonna say, just go on Master Duel, man. Like that was part of also why I stopped playing too, because I was just like, I back in the day I was totally fine with like paying out the ass for an expensive deck, because like, I mean I would win semi regularly, and for me it was like it's an investment, cool. So like yeah, I could play these and they'll be good for a long time. Then they got really aggressive with the reprinting policy, and I was just like, at max, like these cards will be like they're worth for like a couple months, and then I'm fucked.
Exactly.
But thankfully, with Master Duel, it's way cheaper.
Manuel?
It is infinitely cheaper.
Huh.
Never mind. Okay, no, you're still like fading in and out with the background.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say that the about the cost of the cards. Now, mind you, this wasn't me, and I would admit it if it was me, because I've talked about many times my devious youth shenanigans. But a friend of mine used to steal all these decks and like just share them amongst friends, including me. Like I don't think I bought a single Yu-Gi-Oh card in my. Actually, I'm sure I have. Never mind. I'm lying. I bought like a couple like starter decks, and like I think one
the
like.
implication then would be that every single Yu-Gi-Oh card you have is stolen.
It's stolen. Yeah. I'm being straight up, like, and actually, I don't want to get into too many details, but I think the first of all, I didn't steal shit.
I think receiving stolen goods is still at least partially criminal, Manuel.
Well, I think secondly, the statute of limitations, I think for theft is like 5 years, depending on like value. So yeah, it's like good luck. But who's gonna sue me, Konami? He's like, I don't even remember where the fucking friend stole it from. Anyway,
I wouldn't put it past Konami. Well, nah.
I mean, Konami doesn't fuck up shit.
They've been doing all right so far, at least.
I also love. I don't know if that's like a crazy subtweet that that JD's doing the children's card game. That sounds so like.
Do you not watch Yu-Gi-Oh! The Bridge series?
No.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's a children's card game.
I remember back in the day, I used to like playing all those card games. I remember there was there was another anime that had one.
Duel Masters.
Every single anime. Like back in the day, like when Pokemon first like dropped, it like I mean, granted, Magic was first, I think.
Yeah, Magic was the first modern collectible card game.
But then, like when Pokemon dropped, like I think that's that with the anime boom, like really created like a huge fucking bubble of just like cool. Just put everything, every IP we have, make a card game out of it. We want to be Pokemon.
Mind you, this is many more years later. I think I already stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh by this point, but I think Fruits Basket had a card game.
Everything good.
Yeah, Star Wars had a card game. I'm pretty sure Star Wars has a card game now, but it had one way back then.
Mega Man Battle Network had a card game.
I remember.
Yeah.
DBZ, the first DBZ.
Digimon had a card game.
I never understood the Digimon card game. I was like trying to figure it. I'm like, I would like read articles or like people would like explain like how to play. I'm like, why would I make my guy go up and then de-digivolve? What?
Huh? I remember like there was a dollar store by my house that like obviously it sold bootlegs. We sell bootlegs for the Pokemon ones a lot, but there came to be a point. There came to be a point when like they used to start selling the official packs for all the card games because like they were just being so overprinted and like so it was such a glut and they would just end up like, yeah, they would end up in clearance stores. I remember I bought a ton of the DBZ official, like the card. I bought like boxes of the fucking blind packs. I think it was DBZ. I don't remember exactly. It doesn't matter anymore because I think I threw them all away recently because I'm like, these were worthless then. They're worthless now. I'm not gonna open these packs.
I swear to God.
I kept the Yu-Gi-Oh cards just because that was more nostalgic. I remember nobody really remembers this, but like I wasn't a huge fan of Magic. I remember always thinking it was a little too complicated for its own good, even in its initial versions.
Computer in that game.
But I do remember Portal, and nobody remembers Portal but me. But I remember Portal was the version I used to play, which was like basically Magic for babies. Yeah, it was like Magic the Gathering Portal, and it came in a. I remember specifically the starter deck came in a white box, but it also had its own like lines and whatever. I think it lasted only a couple years though. But
they probably like splitting like resources. They probably just figured like, we could just make more Magic.
Because this was around the time when D&D had a basic set too, still. And I think like that was an idea. Like, oh, you have the main one and you have the basic one for the people who don't want to play like crazy shit. But I remember Magic used to always. I remember like me and my friends, like the rules confused us so much that like we would kind of just like ignore some of them. And then when we play with like real people, like not our friends, they'd be all like, "What are you doing? You can't do that. You have to like put down this first, or you can do your next turn."
I'm guessing the term "summoning sickness" probably came up a lot.
Oh yes, fucking I don't know. Magic. I don't know. Maybe I actually have a lot of Magic cards too, and those I did buy a lot of. The and also the same friend who stole the Yu-Gi-Oh cards was stealing those too. But because you can't tell, like I hung out with a lot of delinquents, and I was delinquent myself too sometimes. Not so much by this point in my life, but yeah. I mean, not at all now, but I mean like my that point in my life back then. Yeah, please don't arrest me.
The crazy thing is, it's like now it feels like they're kind of like pivoting more into like a sort of like a multiverse sort of model.
What?
Like
Magic?
From the outside looking in, kind of. And this is my theory, is because they got bought out by Hasbro.
Oh,
so they got a lot of projects that they're trying to push. For a while, they were like releasing like guest set after guest set.
Mm-hmm.
So like one would be like themed after Transformers, another one would be themed after like Lord of the Rings.
That one's I think still upcoming though.
Yeah. And I think with Magic, like there's a One Ring card or something like that, something insane.
Yeah, they announced it like last month of like the One Ring card, and there's like a special version with only one of them.
It's going to be the most insane like price tag on that thing, but also, if I really hope that whoever does get it, just wholeheartedly takes a trip to the nearest volcano.
And just toss it in.
Yeah.
I mean, do that, film it, make a little YouTube video, and I'm sure that you'll make back the money you could have got like selling that card. Just in terms of
you would be the god. You'd be like a legend forever.
So wait, they're actually making like a golden ticket. Well, not even a golden ticket, because it was fucking 6 of those. They're making a one single printing of the fucking One Ring. That's wild.
Yeah, I think it's a like super special edition that there will only be one of.
That's insane. So, but like, it's in a booster pack, right? Is that the whole?
I believe so.
idea?
Yeah, it'll be
So
in someone's booster pack.
So in theory, it might never be found.
Right.
Yeah, someone might just never open the pack.
Exactly.
Yo,
like people are still sitting on unopened boxes of everything, you know?
Like, I forget when it was. It was like maybe a year ago or something. I don't know. Time is whatever. But like, there's like a whole pallet of freaking Magic cards that are just found in a landfill and are just completely destroyed. It's like that could very easily happen in this. It's like it's just never out there. They could just not print one.
Well,
I just leave everyone speculating where it is.
Yeah, just like never make one.
I remember when TSR had this thing called Dragon Dice, which was like their answer to Magic the Gathering, but it was dice. It actually killed the company. It's actually a very fun story. That's pretty much why they got bought out by Wizards of the Coast. But TSR had Dragon Dice. I'll never forget that when there was a period when I guess like, mind you, all the Dragon Dice I ever got, which I fucking loved the game back in the day, was I would buy from clearance at like either Barnes and Noble, like bookstores, or even at KB. God, this is also dated. None of those, like Barnes and Noble exists, but like KB doesn't.
Noble, yeah.
But anyways, buying all this shit. But at one point, KB just like had a box of them and they just like left it on the floor. Like they were just done with it. Like they were just like, they didn't mark it free, but they just, well, who knows, maybe they were for sale, but it was in a box. It was like in a box of like 20, like 2 rows. And me and my friend, we just took them. And actually, now I look back now, that might have just been theft. Maybe the employee got called into a register and he didn't finish his display.
Oh my god.
Oops. Mind you, that was a long time ago. That was like the late 90s. So and KB doesn't exist anymore. Sue me. I don't fucking actually.
Someone bought up the rights to all their stuff, Manuel.
Please don't sue me, KB. I'm just admitting, like, well, friend stole it too. I'll track him down, and you better get his boat. I'm taking his boat. Everyone down.
God. Well, I mean, like talking on that, like it looks like we're kind of getting into like another wave of like just a fuck ton of TCGs being made.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like I was talking. Well, there's the Final Fantasy one. And I think they even sent us packs of that.
Digimon actually has like apparently like a really good one now.
We were talking about this before we started, and that's actually why I was talking about One Piece when we went live, was because One Piece has one, and it's been out for a while, not a long while, but it's been out for a while. But it's been like notorious that like they'll release it and it'll sell out like in seconds.
And you're lucky to find retail prices.
Exactly. And it's funny because the reason I brought this up, because I have a friend of mine, like, someone I actually like, know, and they see them online all the time, see them at conventions, talk to them here and there.
Are they about to acquire a bunch of One Piece cards?
They ended up just breaking down and going to like Frankensons, which is a store around here that like is kind of like a weekly con, so to speak, where they always have like vendors like that. And they just broke down and bought like, an overpriced box. Because they're just like, fuck it, I'll just, it wasn't too overpriced, but it was overpriced. And they bought it. But the funny thing was, even them, they I have yet to see anyone play that fucking game. Because I'm like, is anyone playing One Piece? I just feel like you're either collecting it or you're scalping it. Like there seems to be no in between to some of these games.
Yeah, it's about to, and what's about to come out that is already getting scalped, even though it's not even like fully out.
What?
Disney has their own.
Oh yeah.
Has one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like. It's called Lorcana, and like last year or 2 years ago or something like that, they had like a 5-card like little preview set, and yeah, like immediately that you could only get them at one of the parks. And almost immediately, like, up on eBay at 3 times the price.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the art that's going on here.
It looks kind of fun. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I hate to dip into this, but I'm kind of like, this is interesting.
like their resource system is, instead of like using mana or energies or whatever, you use ink, and like you're like collecting like lore, and I'm like, God damn it! This sounds kind of fun. Like I fucking like I hope that they don't get like scalp the hell back because I kind of just want to like dick around with the card just for a little bit because it sounds kind of fun.
It sounds like they're also trying to dip back into what was that game called? The painting one. Like I actually have,
Oh,
I actually
Epic
have
Mickey.
Epic Mickey.
There you go. I even have the Wiimote that's shaped like the paintbrush. I actually have a couple of those.
Okay,
But like
I don't know if it was just the time and place, but I really liked that game on the Wii.
I did too. I fucking loved that
Yeah.
game. That was a good game. Oswald the Rabbit, and wasn't that not Warren Spector? Who the fuck did that?
No, it was Warren
game?
Spector who directed the game.
Oh, it was Warren Spector. I was right. Okay, it had a big pedigree behind it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like there was love put into that game. Everyone go play Epic Mickey for the Wii. I think it's on other consoles. I mean, it's on everything. I think eventually.
Yeah, it got ported with when the sequel came out.
Okay.
Did y'all ever see like the really early concept art for that game?
Yeah.
Yes, with all like fucking horrific and like.
I was so sad that's not how it was when it came out. I was like, oh man.
Well, Disney now might do that, but Disney would never do that. I think I mentioned this. Oh, I forgot where the fuck we talked about this, but I'll never forget when that game first came out, Epic Mickey. Actually, I think I knew it before it actually released, but when it was getting released, I was confused, and I thought that Epic Mickey was gonna be the Mickey version of Kingdom Hearts. Like,
I just get that vibe. Yeah.
like, I thought it was gonna be like Kingdom Hearts Mickey version, but like developed in house by Disney, no Square bullshit. And that's what I thought it was. And I remember even some of my friends at school thinking that. Like, I mean, like mind you, I was already like was I still in high school by this point?
No, you were in college because I was in college.
Yeah, I'm like, how old was I? What does it matter? My friends were thinking that too. I mean, we were also stupid kids. Fun fact: one of my friends was on a military base when Final Fantasy X-2 came out. And he was so he kept writing back to me. He's like you don't even know, man. It's so cool because like I guess on base like they have a place where you could buy shit, like a Walmart or whatever, but like military mart.
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, we already have Final Fantasy 12 here, and I'm like, bro, that game doesn't exist. He's like, we do. Like you don't even know. He's like, watch, I'll send you a picture, and he sent me a picture.
You said Nintendo, I swear.
Yeah, and it was 10-2. It was Final Fantasy 10-2, and he sent me a picture.
That is the funniest shit.
And he's all like, look, man, it's 12, and we have it. And he's
like, no, that's not how the numbers work.
Yeah, I had to explain to him, like, I don't think he ever believed me, because, like, we couldn't talk that much. He was on a base, but yeah. And he was so, and like, obviously, because he's on a base, he didn't know that game was even coming out. I guess it wasn't on his radar. He was on his radar on the base, but you know what I mean? It was, so he just saw it, which also blows my mind, because, like, he wasn't like stationed here. He was like in fucking Afghanistan at the time or some shit like that, or Iraq, I think actually. And like, it just blows my mind that they would sell you a PS2 and 10-2, Final Fantasy 10-2, to play in your. I don't know. I guess
Hey, you got downtime.
Yeah. They got like it's a town from what I've heard. Like they're like actual towns because I mean there's so many people there. Like they have to function like one.
It just blows my mind because like I never quite understood like about that. And yeah, for the record, I've mentioned this in the past, but like fuck the military. Like they recruit kids. I've mentioned this in the past. Like every friend I had for like a big part of my life.
As an organization or the individuals?
As an organization, they recruit children. It's dirty as fuck because like every
differentiate individual people. Cool.
Oh yeah, no yeah, like
the systematic shit. Different. Yeah, like that's
they're getting sucked up. Like I have a few friends who I don't talk to anymore because of fuck shit. Like obviously like Rat Boy, but like most of them were just poor. They joined the military because that's all they could do.
It is kind of fucked when you think about it. That like that's kind of how like subliminally it's like what's the quickest way for somebody who's like in poverty to like get into a higher like tax bracket?
Yeah,
the military. That's kind of fucked up.
Okay, Manuel.
It is.
This might be a thing for you since, you know, you lived through history. It hasn't it kind of been like that for a long time?
I guess so, but it just feels dirty that
like I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that it's been like a thing of society for a long time where like a way for poor people to get rich a lot faster than normal military.
And it's funny because like I think John Oliver did a thing on this like a month ago, but like I remember thinking back on like my school's ROTC program, and like they would get you in junior high. We're talking 6th graders who would like go through like ranks until they were seniors in high school and then join the military like at a higher rank. That was the whole appeal to doing that,
Mhm.
you would join as a private third class instead of a private fuck you, some shit like that. So like, but you would basically spend most of your childhood training to join the military when you became the second you turned, like, not even 18, the second you were like out of high school, probably still 17.
Absolutely predatory. Just like
It's fucking
Christ.
wild. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine like, what, sixth grade? How old are you in sixth grade? Like 9 or 10?
11.
And they're already like, well, okay,
Like we have
whatever.
laws where you can't like advertise certain shit. But
Exactly,
like
but
it's
you
like
can advertise the fucking military, and like that fucking can get you killed, or have you kill people. That's fucking fucked up. Anyway, it's getting dark.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
Manuel. Also,
now
it's
they're
about,
on Twitch.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was
What's
gonna say
up,
it's about
gamers?
time to start wrapping up, Manuel. Not because of the military thing, just for time.
Oh, look at that.
They're on to us.
JD's all like,
They
JD's
tapped
gonna
into
be a
the
military
signal.
recruiter.
Manuel, we've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Fuck them. I was gonna say, fuck, I'm gonna end up on a watch list. I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna see what else.
You think you're not already on one?
Well, with all the
like,
theft you just admitted to, Emmanuel, you're definitely going to be on someone's list. You might just be on the naughty list.
Shout out to the one guy who's assigned at keeping tabs on me. Hope you're doing good.
I just admitted to doing so many things in this one stream. Okay, actually, not that many for myself. Just receiving stolen goods. For the record, I think the dude who actually did all the stealing, he joined the Marines.
So, Manuel just trying to backpedal his way out of this.
Yeah, you went from like self snitching to just like blanket snitching, just like everybody's getting gloves.
I know his name. I know where he served, more or less. I will drop.
Manuel, you're fading out of existence. There, you're
Anyways. Back. Okay,
sorry.
I keep moving away from the mic.
They're pulling him into the shadow realm.
Yeah, is that a Yu-Gi-Oh reference?
Yes.
I always get confused. I never really watched the anime. The only thing I remember was like as a little kid. I remember like, I mean, I was a little kid, so when the anime first started, like in the 90s, whatever the fuck it was, I remember being like, oh shit, that girl has giant anime titties. That was one of my earliest anime titty notices, if that's a word to use. But yeah,
I'm guessing probably my.
And it's funny because like a lot of kids shows typically, maybe they do now, but like back then I feel like a lot of them, actually no, they definitely did after that. But like Pokemon didn't have somebody with giant tits, did they? I don't know. Anyway,
they literally cut that episode out.
Oh, you're right. But anyways, whatever. That giant anime. Send us pictures of your favorite anime. I can't even speak. Your favorite giant anime titties. Yeah. One of my favorite figures is like that chick from One Piece who has a giant titties. I fucking forget her name.
Which one?
Do you understand how little that narrows it down?
Yes.
The girl who's part of the crew.
Which one?
Which one?
Red hair or black hair?
Red. No, black.
Nico Robin. Okay, good choice.
There's a figure that I saw in Taiwan, and I regret not buying it at the One Piece store. There was a figure at the One Piece store in Taiwan that I regret not buying, where she was dressed up as Luffy, but like.
Oh no, that was not. That would have been Nami.
Was that Nami?
Yeah, that would have been the one with red hair.
Oh.
Wait, maybe no.
Maybe it was a knockoff. But
I think he might have saw like the gender swap version of Luffy.
Oh yeah,
gets passed around sometimes.
To be fair, it was at the One Piece store, and this is an official One Piece store. It's not like a bootleg thing. Okay. So it could have been Nami. Or
yeah, because I know there's a figure with Nami in her outfit, or in Luffy's outfit.
All I remember was I saw it, and I remember showing it to a friend of mine. And this is years ago, so I'm not sure if this is an old figure or was new at the time. But it was in the window, or it was on a display. It might have been in the window. But I was like, oh look, and I remember like I was tempted to buy it from because a friend was like, you should buy that. I'm like man, if I buy this, I'm keeping it for myself. But I think I was already carrying too much that trip, and I never bought it. Anyway,
that is a good reason.
Yeah, there's a One Piece store in Taipei, and it's literally next door to this sex shop. Like it's kind of an upscale sex shop. And when I went in there, because the exchange rate's so weird, I told the story before, I think, but they had a big ass sex doll. Like a human-sized sex doll, not a big-ass one, but it's the human-sized sex doll, and it was so cheap.
Specifically, you could have just meant like a doll, just the ass, like a doll of an ass.
I wanted to buy it because I thought it would be funny.
Yeah, you would.
I thought it'd be funny to have. I've mentioned it before. Like it would just be like I dress. It sounds really creepy when I say this out loud. Dress it up, keep it somewhere in the corner.
Yeah.
Not even have sex. Apparently,
Listen,
apparently, I was
get a Sharpie and then like on the butt cheeks just draw like eyes. Like
I was telling the story to Leslie once, like it was in person at a con, and she's like, and I was telling her the whole story, like I would want to just like dress up and just to keep it around, and she's like, it'd be less. She told me this is dead ass, like Leslie told me this, like it'd be less creepy if I wanted it to fuck. So I guess.
Okay, Manuel, come on, wrap up.
Anyway, I didn't buy it, but anyways, if anyone goes to the One Piece store, if anyone goes to that One Piece store and the sex shop still there, tell me if that sex doll is still for. I mean, I'm sure they changed it out, but anyways, anyway, yeah, that's wrapping it up. I'll also wrap it up if you have sex. Don't want no kids. I need to shut up. Thank you.
wrap it up
for joining
before
me.
you have sex with sex dolls.
This was actually a really fun episode topic-wise for us, like literally not knowing what we were going to talk about before we went live, and we didn't even cover the stuff I said we were going to. Not at all.
Well, I actually made a quick little docket with just like thoughts and everything, so I've kind of had a little bit of a guide here.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyway, that's that. What are we doing this tomorrow or Thursday? Me and Warren are gonna play some Final Fantasy VII. We're gonna catch Yuffie. We're gonna recruit Yuffie. Like the same Pokemon. We're gonna recruit Yuffie. And probably finish Junon Harbor. We're playing the original. So watch that. I don't know. That'll be tomorrow or Thursday for sure. Also, shout out to Warren. It was his birthday yesterday. Yeah. And this Friday we're doing Drink Talk Roll. It's myself, Pleiades, Hao, and hopefully Andrew. And we're going to be continuing our current escapades with the colorblind puzzles. That was fucked up. Anyway, yeah, that's it. What else is there?
Shout out to our patrons or our patrons.
Oh yeah, shout out to our patrons. Shout out to patron Ed. Love you. See you at Fanime. If you're going to Fanime, come to our panels. We're doing 4 panels there, including 2 on J-pop for the 80s and the 90s. I made a post in the Fanime group, and everyone's like, is like putting interested into the page I made for the fucking the panel. And now I'm worried that it might have too many people because we did fill up some panel rooms last year at Fanime because I thought they wouldn't get a ton of people. So they ask you when you fill out a panel form how many you expect. And I put low numbers for these music ones, and I kind of regret that now. Oops. So if you can't get in, that's probably my fault.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best kind of compliment.
But then again, yeah, like you said, even though I feel bad for anyone who tries to come and isn't able to, I'm also like, we filled the room. Anyway, that's it. Next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. Next week we'll do the 200th look back on episode 2 with Tiffany. That's a lot of tease. The 200th episode with episode 2 with Tiffany. If JD can figure that out, and then we're probably gonna have one more with Hina. Those might be switched, and then it's anime, as in anime. We'll have some anime themed episodes in May. And that's it. Peace out. Good night. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.